Morning 5 on Monday, September 29th, 2014. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm joined by Steve Hellwagon. Steve, Ohio State moved up 2 spots in the AP poll. The Buckeyes are now ranked 20th after their 50-28 win over Cincinnati on Saturday at Ohio Stadium. Next up for the Buckeyes is a trip to Maryland this Saturday, where Ohio State is favored by 10 points. Steve, in my estimation, Maryland is the biggest pleasant surprise team in the Big Ten thus far. I didn't think much of them. I thought they were a real bad team last year, but it turns out they were really ravaged by injuries last year. They're 4-1 so far. Their only loss was 40-37 against a pretty solid West Virginia team. Maryland beat Syracuse on the road 34-20. They're coming off a 37-15 win at Indiana, who just beat Missouri the week before. The Terrapins were underdogs in both of those games. 17 starters back from last year, 8 on offense, 9 on defense. Again, the Buckeyes favored by 10 points. This could be a tight game, Steve. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
I agree with you, Dave. I think Ohio State is kind of walking into a setup here when you think about it. I mean, they just had this game with Cincinnati, which was a wild game, a night game in Columbus, a somewhat emotional game, and then you're going in to Maryland, and this is Maryland's first ever Big Ten home game. Now, it's a noon start, so that may take some of the starch out of the fans there in Maryland, but it's going to be electric there, I think, when you talk about their first ever Big Ten home game, and they're going to want to win that one, take down Ohio State and gain all the credibility that they would gain for beating Ohio State. I was very impressed with what I saw. I mean, they jumped on Syracuse at Syracuse, and it took them out of that game early and basically exploded on Indiana in the second quarter in that game and put that one away pretty early too. So they're playing good football right now, and I know their quarterback, C.J. Brown, may have gone down with an injury, a wrist injury, and he was replaced by his backup in that win over Indiana. But again, I guess we want to wait and see what his status will be. But I think Ohio State in some regards is walking into a setup here at Maryland, a place that Ohio State's never played. I mean, they just played in Baltimore a few weeks ago, but have never played at the University of Maryland. So it'll be a definite home field advantage for Maryland, and we'll just have to wait and see. Their first ever Big Ten home game. It sounds like it's going to be a big event there at the University of Maryland.
Yeah, Caleb Rowe was the backup quarterback that came in, and he played really well against Indiana. So, he played even better than C.J. Brown, who also played really well. And Caleb Rowe does have some starting experience. He started 2 games last year when C.J. Brown was hurt. So we'll see what happens there. They looks like they have 2 capable quarterbacks there in College Park. All right, switching gears. Steve, it finally happened. Raekwon McMillan has taken over at middle linebacker for the Buckeyes. Not nearly enough is being said about this, in my opinion. Curtis Grant did start the UC game, but McMillan replaced him beginning the second series and played pretty much the remainder of the way. I'm obviously excited about this, as you can tell, Steve. I believe it's long overdue. It's nothing against Curtis Grant. I think just Raekwon McMillan is just, I guess it's a little bit something against Curtis Grant. Let's not lie. I mean, the guy just didn't live up to expectations. He's a nice young man, a very nice young man, but Raekwon McMillan has it. He has the leadership qualities. He's very cerebral. He's instinctual. He does everything well out there. He did get caught in traffic one time on a passing play, but I think any linebacker might have got caught up in that play. I'm just very excited about Raekwon McMillan taking over as a starting middle linebacker if it does work out that way, Steve. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Raekwon has got some great instincts, and he plays a solid game of football, even though he's a youngster. I mean, we have a lot of guys you see on this Ohio State team that are just starting their careers out, basically, that are really, making some plays and doing some great things. Luke Fickell, after the game, talked about how they felt with UC throwing the football that Raekwon McMillan was a better fit on defense than Curtis Grant. He believes that when they get back into Big Ten play and teams are trying to run the football against Ohio State, that Curtis Grant will play. So I look for him to split time. I really do, depending. It could be on down and distance, could be by series. I look for him to both play. I don't think they're going to clip Curtis Grant's wings just yet, but I think that McMillan is certainly a guy that they're going to build the defense around as they go forward. And it is exciting to see number 5 out there running around and making plays, because they really haven't had that. I mean, he was the last linebacker that they've had in the last few years. I mean, Shazier was, eventually turned out to be a very good player, But again, I don't know. I'm excited to see that they're rewarding a freshman, a guy who has the ability, is getting a chance to play. That is an exciting development to me.
Today around noon, we will interview Urban Meyer, so look for a story plus video on what Coach Meyer has to say early this afternoon. We will also interview 2 assistant coaches and a handful of players, probably around 1 o'clock, so look for stories, bolts, and videos of what the assistants and the players have to say this afternoon as well. On the recruiting front, Bill Kurlick's What I'm Hearing column is already up on the site for subscribers. It includes items on 2015 offensive lineman Isaiah Prince, 2015 linebacker Jerome Baker, and 2015 athlete Brian Cole, who is the top-ranked player in the state of Michigan and who is currently committed to the Wolverines. Is Cole a candidate to flip to Ohio State if Brady Hoke loses his job as expected? Bill Kurlick has the scoop on the site right now. As for Jerome Baker, real quick, I want to mention his mom and his aunt both accompanied him to Ohio State on Saturday for the Cincinnati game. His mom and his aunt are both big Buckeye fans, and they love their time. Baker grew up a Buckeye fan. His family is full of Buckeye fans, and Will Muschamp is likely to lose his job after this season at Florida. So I continue to think Baker will flip to Ohio State. Bill Kurlick has his take on Baker and what I'm hearing, so make sure you check that out. Thanks to Steve Hellwagon. Thanks to all the listeners out there. Take it away, best damn band in the land.